1 plus 1 doesn't equal 3 unless you're talking about this story. So welcome to the point. Let's get to it.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Let's attempt to give a fair breakdown of this most recent video.
Hey, today's video is for all of the people who've been emailing me from around the world, telling me their struggles, personal stories of illness, as well as the stories of people whom they love who battle with mental illness.
Now, I've seen a lot of people call BS here, making the statement that John Paul is a vile individual, and who on earth would write this guy? Well, let's keep in mind that there's another side to this story, and we should all just cool our tempers a little bit. It's completely possible that people in this world have dealt with the struggles of having somebody stay on their medicine in situations like this. And if fair coverage and an open conversation is something you prefer, hit that like button and subscribe down below. Because we have no proof that he's lying here. We do know that individuals are contacting John Paul. And some of those individuals have been leaking the text messages of their private conversations with him. So it is possible that some individuals have connected with a particular part of this story. So let's hear them out.
And the same story is throughout every single email, and that is when you start feeling really, really good, you want to come off your medicine because you think you don't need it. So listen, the reason you feel good is because you're on your medicine. Don't come off your medication.
Okay, you can either like or dislike John Paul, but what he said right there is actually true. People should only stop taking their prescription medication if a doctor advises them to. And if you're in a scenario where you're on a prescription and you went to your doctor and said you want to get off this particular medicine and they said no, you are well within your right to go seek another opinion from another professional. But if every medical professional is telling you you need to stay on that medicine at the dose that you were prescribed, don't go out and take the advice of somebody else who isn't a medical professional.
Over the years, my wife was prescribed lithium, Seroquel, olanzapine, and lamotrigine, something like that. But
now here's where I'm having a problem with what he's saying, and you can let me know down in the comments below if I'm wrong. Why continue to air out her personal information when on the other side you're allegedly trying to keep things sealed to protect her reputation? And in terms of credibility, I can't sit here and blame anybody for not believing a word John Paul is saying, because this does appear to be an example of him saying he wants to protect Mica's reputation, while at the same time allegedly causing harm to Mica's reputation by blaming everything on her mental health. But we do need to circle back to a part of that narrative. Was Mica still taking her medicine? It allegedly sounds like John Paul has continuously said no, she wasn't taking it. And while John Paul's saying no, she wasn't on her medicine, we can't forget what Charlotte Corn, Mica's best friend, said in an interview with Jesse Weber on Sidebar.
Well, the narrative that's been pushed about her for so long, that she was just basically a mental person and having all kinds of psychotic breaks, and that she needed this medicine that she didn't have or wasn't taking, that just simply was not true. She was prescribed medicine, and she had been taking medicine, but yeah, she was starting to question if she even needed it, just because of the cause that, or the reason that she was diagnosed in the first place was a little odd. But also, she told me about a month before her death that she was taking her medication in front of her roommate, so that she would have a witness to the contrary of this narrative that she's just off of her meds and having a break.
So what's the truth here? Was she off all of it or was she taking some of it? We just don't fully know yet, and I don't believe we'll fully know whether she was or wasn't until all the dust is settled within this particular story.
my goal, I had one goal every day of my life for 7 years, and that was to make sure that she took her medicine so that she could enjoy her life and live a very fulfilled, prosperous life like she did when she was with me.
Listen, perception is very rarely reality, and I've got to question a couple things here. Now, to be fair, it does seem like the Miller family was doing financially well, and both Mica and John Paul's kids were very well taken care of. But I don't know one person who wakes up and says they are fulfilled and happy. Guess it's time to leave my spouse. Now, of course, every marriage and relationship goes through rough patches, but they don't typically go this far.
Bear with me just for a second, sweetie. I'm just getting this information put in here, okay? No problem. We just want to verify. He said he's texting her, threatening that he's going to kill her. Yeah, he said my blood's going to be on your hands. But prior to that, he was threatening to come in here, and he said, "Call the cops. I don't care. I'm armed and ready."
Away from me and with her family, she came off of her medicine, lost 40 pounds in a month, and did something that I regret she did, something I tried to prevent for the past 3 months. But somehow with her family, she was able to accomplish that. And so
it's the alleged shots like this that make people's eyes roll when he starts to speak. Don't get me wrong, if he shows proof that Mica's doctor says she needs to take X, Y, and Z at this prescribed dose, while at the same time showing proof her family says she needed to get off of that stuff, then that's going to be a bad look for them. Now, I couldn't find the clip to show it right here, but I want to say at one point in time, I saw an interview with either Mica's family or Regina Ward where one of those individuals had said something to the effect that Mica was still taking her medicine. She was just taking it at a smaller dose, which the doctor said that was okay for her to do. And if you saw that interview, let me know down in the comments below, or if you know where that interview is located, put it down in the comments and I'll pin it.
a lawyer said something months and months ago. He said, the guilty person is the person who talks the most. I said, what do you mean? He said, the guilty person, in any situation, the guilty one is the one that's always out there talking the most. So just look at that person, because...
Yes, we've all heard a statement like that or something similar. But the family at least came out with some type of proof to back up the claims they've made against John Paul, at least to a degree. While John Paul's very first video allegedly said he had something around 350 pieces of proof, and he looked forward to sharing that with everybody. And I didn't do a hit video calling John Paul a liar. I personally said, okay, let's see what you got. And I still haven't seen a single thing regarding any type of proof to back up your claim.
So just look at that person, because Robbie Stinky Harvey is raising money for the person who's responsible for my wife's. He's raising money for the person who told my wife she didn't need her medicine. She didn't have to take it anymore. Her doctor was wrong. Her husband's asking her to take her medicine every single night. And what happened was she lost 40 pounds in a month.
Now, for some reason, Robbie Harvey has really gotten under John Paul's skin, which is odd when you consider the fact that multiple content creators who also have alleged sources have made videos shining a negative light on John Paul Miller. But this supposed 40 pounds of weight loss doesn't necessarily have to fall on the family here. There is an argument that can be made that the dramatic weight loss Mica went through was directly related to the amount of stress she was under while going through this very messy divorce. We've seen multiple police reports and videos of those two individuals going at it. We got Mica saying that she's being followed and she's being tracked while her tires are mysteriously flattened. And John Paul's calling the police, telling them that he's being harassed by Mica's family. And they're showing up at people's jobs. And if you missed it, here's that clip right here.
Myrtle Beach Police and Fire, this is Ashley.
Hey, Ashley, I am being on social media, as well as people texting, this family's texting horrible lies about me, and going to people's work saying things about me, and trying to extort me and all this other stuff. Who would I talk to about this?
Okay, where are you located when this is occurring? Oh, okay.
So that's kind of my home base of where this is happening.
Gotcha. Sure. And do you know these people that are doing this, or is it just sort of like rumors spreading around?
It's my wife and her family, or soon-to-be ex-wife and her family.
Alrighty. And what's your name? Hold on for me. And a phone number to get you back at. Alrighty. And are you available shortly to take a call from one of our officers?
Yes, I am.
Alright, wonderful. They'll be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Of course. Take care.
She purchased something that I tried to stop for 3 months, and she did something that I tried to stop for years. And so if you're unmedicined, like the ones I listed earlier, please, for the sake of your family and friends and loved ones, stay on your medicine unless your doctor tells you otherwise. Not your friends, not your family, your doctor, the one who prescribed the medicine. Please, and God bless.
Now, John Paul's speaking as if he has something in writing to back this up, and I think it's fair to say that there is a possibility he might be able to produce something. The problem is he just hasn't produced it yet, and nobody's seen it. Now, the court of public opinion means absolutely nothing, and allegedly John Paul seems to want to post these videos in an effort to silence his critics and tell his side of the story, which is fine, but the big hurdle here he has to overcome is his credibility. At times, it is very easy to point out things that allegedly contradict what he's trying to say, to include his own words. But for the most part, until he shows some of this proof, the vast majority of the people following this story will instantly not believe a thing he says. So is it all true or all false or somewhere in the middle? Let me know down in the comments below. Y'all be safe now.